Hey, what's up guys? Justin here. Today I'm going to give you some tips on how to be more confident. So, why are people confident, or rather, what makes a confident person? Well, typically speaking, it usually starts from birth. Yes, unfortunately so. Most people who are confident have always been confident. It's been something that they've been fed into their entire life. Myself, not the case. Very anxious, always very anxious, very unconfident, tons of insecurities, tons of that stuff. But here's the trick, you can work on it. You can actually improve this element of your life. The way that you do this is very much by selecting new data for your brain to take in. Now, I'll give you more examples of this. Typically speaking, how a person experiences the world is based on their self-concept. So this is how you relate to the external world. This is how you look at a car, for example, and go, that's not me. Or a t-shirt, and you're like, I don't know if I'm feeling it, if this is a representation of me. Well, as much as those are things, we relate to everything from beliefs to objects to reactions. It's how we connect with the external world. This is called a self-concept. Now, your confidence is based on how you feel about your self-concepts. If you're happy about your self-concepts, if you feel like they help you in life, you'll be confident. If you don't, if you're like, fuck, I'm an anxious person, I'm an awkward person, I don't know, I'm lazy. If you have these sort of beliefs about yourself, or you're like, I don't have good style, I don't have a good wardrobe, stuff like this, again, this is how you get to a place where you're not confident. Confidence comes from how you feel about your self-concepts. The best thing is, though, you can adjust your self-concepts. Your self-concepts are just how you're relating to things. It's not actually the things themselves. So let me give you an example of this. Imagine you're at a supermarket, for example, and you see someone staring at you, and they're just looking at you, and you're like, the fuck? Like, you're kind of looking around. Now, how you react to that gives you an indication of your self-concept. So really think about this. The person's looking at you. Are you thinking in your head, oh, they're checking me out. They're checking me out. Oh, yeah, I'm looking good today. Huh. All right. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. Or are you looking at them and are you like, why are they looking at me? I got something on me? Is there like something? And you pull your phone out and you're like, you're pretending to look at a text and you're like, is that something on me? What the fuck is the person looking at? So, how you react to it, experience like this gives your brain evidence. It gives it some sort of like data, as you will, to kind of reference and support a self-concept. But you can change these self-concepts. Now, unfortunately, it can be a little tricky. But this is how you start. Your brain doesn't know what the fuck it's taking in. It doesn't know if it's a positive or negative experience. It just knows it's an experience. It's a reference. So, you can lie to yourself. This is the old saying, like, fake it till you make it, but it's a little more complex than that. If you look at yourself in the mirror every morning, you go, whoa, fuck, I gotta work on these sort of things. You're gonna start to pull out data that tells your brain, support this self-concept and not that one. Support the one of self-hate and not the confident one. People who are naturally confident have always been told these sort of positive reactions. They've always been filling their brain with more experiences and references to believe that they're confident. That's all that there is to it. So if you want to start believing that you're confident, that's how it starts. The funny thing is, though, as you start to bullshit yourself, as you look in the mirror and you're like, okay, looking good. Sure, I'm a little overweight. All it does is make me more approachable, or make me, easier to talk to. However you sell it to yourself. As you start to do that, you'll actually start to feel more confident because your brain doesn't fucking know. Your mind does. Your mind will go, you fucking liar, while you're lying to yourself, but your brain does not. After a while of conditioning yourself like this, you'll eventually start to buy into it. And so as you have those experiences where you're at the supermarket or some sort of thing where you're like, someone's looking at you, you're like, you're probably checking me out. Yeah. And you start to accept that, that's when you'll start to change. That's when you start to be like, okay, all right, maybe I am sexy. And you'll realize it's just something that you're doing to yourself. This confidence is just something that you're tricking yourself into. Now, the funny thing with this is, even though you know logically you're just being narcissistic, you just know that you're just like bullshitting yourself, after you get more reference experience, as you start to really see people treat you differently, they start to pay more attention to you and stuff like that, you'll realize that you had no reason to not love yourself in the first place. This is where self-love comes in. This is where real, genuine confidence comes in. Where you know it didn't matter if you were fucking narcissistic or not. What it really came down to was understanding that it was how you felt about yourself. Unfortunately, I can't just tell you to love yourself or just be confident. You have to experience this yourself. So give it a try. Start being narcissistic just for a little bit. Just have some fun with this, right? Every time you look at yourself in the mirror, really start to pinpoint things that you like about yourself. Give it a go. Talk to you guys later. Just some food for thought, as always. Talk to you later.